Good morning, America. August 31st. It's the DJ coming at you on a Saturday morning. Yeah. How you doing, America? Let's get ready for another awesome show. What do we got playing today? We got something here. What is this? Newsroom News by Spence off of the YouTube audio library. Just what we need for a Saturday morning. We're going to talk about Chicago money. Let's bring the music down. Bring the music down like we always do, as the DJ does. Yeah. I think we're done with the DNC. Maybe we'll bring you some more updates. But Chicago survived, but not yet. Now that Brandon's done claiming victory of the DNC, and the DNC was supposed to bring in like $200 million to the city of Chicago, and I suspect it's not that much, but he's claiming victory anyway. Now he's on to his budget problems. Chicago's got a lot of problems, folks. Financially, Chicago is a wreck. They are a train wreck. Yeah. Chicago's a train wreck, and in more ways than one. I've got a clip here where they talk about the city, the $1 billion. That's what a B, folks. $1 billion gap that they've got in the city budget, and even the aldermen are saying real estate tax hike. Yeah. And if you think people are fleeing the city of Chicago now, just wait till they get a whiff of someone raising their taxes. So not only has the city of Chicago got budget issues, Chicago public schools got some issues. I think we did a video a couple days ago where they showed where this was WirePoints, I believe. Check out wirepoints.org. There is a high school on the south side of Chicago that is open for 34 students. Yes, the whole enrollment in one high school is 34. They're keeping one high school running for 34 students at a cost of $80,000 per year per student. For that 34 students, they have 5 teachers. So that's what Chicago's doing with the money that you taxpayers are making. And guess who they're looking? They're looking for the state of Illinois to bail them out. Surprise, surprise. A lot of people are saying it doesn't impact me because I don't live in Chicago. If you live in the state of Illinois, folks, this is coming to your door. They're putting their hand in your pocket. So let's get into this video where they kind of lay out all the bad news so you can get your head around it and wonder what the hell has happened in the first year of Brandon's regime here.
When it comes to Chicago's finances, Mayor Brandon Johnson says the city's budget gap will grow to nearly $1 billion next year, and now some aldermen say it's time to think about raising property taxes. Christian Farr breaks down what's at stake.
But this is not just a challenge, this is a fiscal crisis.
Some Chicago City Council.
Hear that? It's not just a challenge, it's a crisis. And this is one of the aldermen who actually has a brain on a head on his shoulder with the actual brain in it. So, yeah, let's listen some more.
Members are not happy with Mayor Johnson's recent budget preview that puts the city in a major financial deficit.
I don't think we have a lot of solutions on the table when you have an administration that is pretty much moving more in the expenditure side of things than they are on reducing expenses.
The city is dealing with a budget gap for 2024 that is nearly $225 million, while for 2025 that gap is close to $1 billion. Part of the issue is a pension payment that is the responsibility of Chicago Public Schools, but that sizable cost has fallen on the city.
With CPS, forfeiting their responsibility to provide that $175 million pension payment, that now we have to be on the hook for that. It's just a perfect storm of difficult circumstances.
There's this bucket of we ain't got it, right? We don't have the necessary resources to fund the teacher's contract.
CPS is dealing with its own.
Of course, the teachers union wants a new contract. They're in negotiations right now, and they got dollar signs in front of their eyes. But when they open the safe of the city of Chicago, there's nothing in there, folks, but a bunch of pennies. Bunch of pennies in the safe at the city of Chicago. It all comes back to pensions. At what point do the pensions finally have to be addressed? They've been kicking this can down the road. I've done several videos in the past about this. Every major Chicago pension fund is funded at somewhere between 20 and 28%, where a properly funded pension should be at 80%. Okay? All three of the Chicago pension funds, 20 to 25% funded, 80 is properly funded. There's where the problem lies. They're trying to play catch up for many years of waste and abuse. There was some years they didn't put any money towards the pension. They spent it on other things that they wanted to spend it on. And throw in there the sale of parking, right? They sold the parking meters many years ago. That was a boondoggle. There's a lot of videos on how Chicago got the raw deal on that, but they spent that money over like 2 to 3 years during Rahm Emanuel. That was like $1 billion just flushed down the toilet. Yeah, flushed down the toilet. $1 billion. And whoever owns, I think Saudi Arabia owns the parking meters now. That is a whole debacle there, folks. We'll talk about that some other time. Let's get back to this video.
Own budget issues while trying to settle a new contract with the Chicago Teachers Union. While some city council members say everything needs to be on the table to close this gap, which includes possibly raising property taxes, others feel differently.
I thought the number was going to be a little worse than what it was.
28th Ward Alderman Jason Irvin believes that with some help from the state and others, they should be able.
There you go. We need some help here. We've screwed this up royally. Can you help us out?
To close this gap.
We think CPS needs to do their part. We've got to get some help from the state on a couple of issues, and that will.
Yeah, we got to get some help from the state. We got to get some help from someone else. We can't fix this all by ourselves, although we created this problem all by ourselves.
We'll shrink that number down.
Alderman Hopkins says they no longer have access to COVID relief funds, which would help close this gap, which is why he thinks raising taxes needs to be discussed. In Streeterville, Christian Farr, NBC 5 News.
And tonight.
So there you go. The other part of this, what a lot of people don't realize, also comes back to commercial real estate. As these buildings and office buildings in Chicago get sold for penny on the dollars, because people can't refinance them, the people that own those buildings are going to want their taxes reduced, because now a building that was once worth $100 million may be only worth, say, $35 to $50 million. Okay, so why would you want to pay taxes on a $100 million building that's no longer worth $100 million? So, of course, you're going to apply for a special assessment and have your taxes reduced. Well, guess what, folks? The city of Chicago has bills to pay, salaries to pay. They can't just give everyone a decrease on their property taxes. It's got to stay somewhat level, year over year. So what happens? The taxpayer, the homeowner, has to pick up a bigger tab. That's what's happening in Chicago. They already was screaming this spring about the south side of Chicago where they reassessed their taxes, and that's what happened. I know people that live in Crook County even. They're screaming. Their taxes went up $1,200 a year for many of the houses in like Palatine, Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, like $400,000 to $500,000 house. Taxes went up $1,200 in 1 year, and people are screaming. So welcome to Crook County, right? Crook County. I think their taxes went up. I mean, hey, let's face it, Crook County and the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, they're all paying for that migrant finance problem, right? The migrants. It all goes back to the migrants. We're covering the migrants here. And also brings me to the gentleman I was talking to about 2 weeks ago in Wilmette, who pays $31,000 in property taxes on a yearly basis, and he was okay with that. He was okay with paying $31,000 a year. He was resigned to the fact that he's just keeping the system afloat. I wish I was like that, but I'm not. I pay a third of that, and I wish I could pay less. So there you go. Problems in Chicago starting to bubble to the top. But the DNC was a success, folks. DNC was a success. None of the delegates got killed. It was a success in royal order. And Brandon is on to his budget problems, and they're only going to get bigger. If they're admitting to $1 billion, you got to ask yourself, what's the real number, right? Government never tells us little people the truth, right? They always sprinkle in a little fairy dust. So if it's $1 billion budget gap, it's probably a hell of a lot more than that. Just saying. Just saying, folks. Well, comment down below if you got any solutions for Brandon, like maybe resigning, putting a person with a real experience in that position. Who in their right mind would put a Chicago teacher activist running a city the size of Chicago? Who would do that? And what would happen? I think we're seeing what is happening. This story is only going to get juicier. I'm loving it by the minute, but I know in the end it's going to come out of my pocket because I live in the state of Illinois, and they're going to be coming to me and wanting some more of my money. That's the reality, folks. Welcome to Crook County. Welcome to the kingdom of J.B. Lizzo, right? J.B. Lizzo? J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. We call him J.B. Lizzo. What else do we call him? We call him, I don't know. Jelly Belly. We call him Jelly Belly. We also call him the Chris Christie of the Midwest. There you go, folks. That's all I got for you today. I'm spent at this point. I'm just watching the dollars fly out of my pocket. I can't deal with that. So I'm going to end this. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Get ready for a great weekend. It's Labor Day. Have a bell ringing weekend. Comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. This is DJ Wonder Chrissy coming to you with today was breaking news. Yeah, we brought you some breaking news. Good, bad, or indifferent, it was breaking news. And now we're going to end this show like we end every show with a hand slap and a see ya.